Hello my friends, welcome to the 5th video in the AddaDashofGlitter week for the June Jubilee. So I'm so glad that you've been with me. I hope that you go back and follow all the other videos. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Here's just a little friendly reminder. I'll be 50 in a couple weeks and I'd love to get up to 50 subscribers. That'd be fun. So go ahead and share with your friends please, and go back and check out all the other videos. Simply Fantastic was last week and then AddaDashofGlitter all this week. So here is my demonstrator webpage. My website, you can order at any time, and the new catalog is live. That's what June Jubilee is all about. Here's my Facebook page, and this whole week we have been doing a scavenger hunt, and I hope that you have loved the scavenger hunt and are having a great time. So my goal for the scavenger hunt was to get you to get into the catalog. If you don't have a catalog, $50 will get you one, and I'll get you a catalog, but the catalog is also online on my demonstrator page, so you can go there, click pictures, you know, and play along. I hope that you've enjoyed all the different questions I've asked you to dive into this catalog. So again, we are doing punches. This whole week has been all about punches and finding new ways to love them and enjoy them, and we've really highlighted the end colors. But all of these color families, this is a great way for you to get to find the colors that work for you. Remember to always look at the dots. They offer the real color, like the actual color. The variegated just helps you to know that you're in your lane. So if you're looking for cardstock or stamp pads or ink refills or Stampin' Blends, you stay in your lane and you know your number. I think Stampin' Up did a great job with that. They always do a great job. This catalog is really astounding. I have really fallen in love with this catalog. It's quite beautiful. And the punches, we're going to have a great time. This is actually kind of a bonus, but I couldn't resist using that jar punch one more time. I've had such a good time. So magic box one more time for AddaDashofGlitter, right? So I've got my dimensionals, that's all part of AddaDashofGlitter, and I've got my card ready to go here. I've got my snips. You guys can save this by memory now. I've got my bone folder and my glue, of course. And then this has been the star all week long, this lovely used stamp set. I hope you have fallen in love with it as much as I have. And then the Pick-a-Punch, that is the bundle of that. Check that out. If you check out a couple of my videos, I use them together. And then this DSP of the end colors has been fabulous as well. And I have used a ton of it already, as you can see. I've really kind of dived into that. And then, magic box empty. The star today is the jar punch. I absolutely fell in love with this jar punch. I cannot even tell you, like, I have all these ideas. Like, I have all of these, like, yes please, I want to do 50,000 things with the jar punch. So I cannot wait to show you this card. It's pretty quick and simple, but I think you are going to love it. And of course, this is the jar stamp set, and we're just going to need it for the outline of the jar. So the Stamparatus is going to be the star of the show today too, because it does so great with the jar and the jar punch and all of those things. So let's talk about the card, what we do to make our card. It's really super simple, to be honest. The card is the card base. So if you caught I'm trying to remember, Simply Fantastic, the Hostess sets. I did a card like this, but it was turned sideways. We're going to do it up and down today. So it's 5.5 by 4 1/4, super simple, and it's one piece, not a fold over. Okay, and then you're going to have a piece of DSP. Now I'm using, of course, sorry, I just need to trim just a little bit off of there. I am, of course, using the end color DSP, and I thought that I would do this one today. I thought that this was really cute. So this paper is 5 by 4, and you could do it either way. You could do with the words, like you could do the words going too, but I don't know, I kind of liked I kind of liked the wood grain. I think I'm going to stay with the wood grain. So what we're going to do is super simple, and then I'll show you the cards, because of course I made one in every color because I've done that with all of them. So this can go down because I'm not stamping on it. So, you know, that's my rule of thumb. If I'm not stamping on it, then it's totally, I can go ahead and put it down. So this piece is going to go down, and you're just kind of centering it like so. And then we are going to stamp on this flap. The card flap is 11 by 2 inches, scored at 5.5. This is our area where we're going to do our writing and our stamping. So we're going to get our stamp apparatus for that. But first, I want to go ahead, and I have a piece of the DSP, you know, it's 6 by 6, and you have a 4 by 6 and a 2 by 6. So I have the 2 by 6 size, and I'm going to stamp 2 jars. Okay? Because I want one for the outside of the card, and I want one for the inside of the card. So I'm going to stamp 2 jars. Super simple. And that's actually the perfect size for 2 jars. Not a whole lot more. I don't know that I would do anything with that. And I know that's surprising because I'm always like, no, I can do it. But I probably wouldn't do much with that. Okay, so we've punched our jar out. So that's all we're going to use for that jar punch. Now we need our happy Stamparatus, because why? The Stamparatus is your friend. So what we're going to do with this, make it super simple on ourselves. We want to do the outline of that jar. So when you have your jar, I'm just going to set it down here. And the nice thing is, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I probably should have done that the opposite way, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure that's going to be my favorite. You know what? We're just going to switch that out. This shows you Rachel's not perfect either. Happy accident. I just think it's going to be easier if we stamp the jar first and then we put it down. I think we're going to find that we feel friendlier about our jar if we do that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take a piece of our paper here. No big deal. We're going to cut it at 2 inches, and then we're going to do this because it's just going to be way easier to stamp. So see, sometimes you got to think through like, no, I probably want to stamp that first. It's going to be easier to punch out if it's already stamped instead of the other way around. Now, if you caught my Jars of Flowers video, I think that was the first one that I did. This is a reversible stamp, so you can do both sides, but all I want is the outline today. So you're going to let the plate do the work for you and pick up pick up your stamp. Oh boy, it knows it's late at night, right? It's like midnight or something. Not that that's super late because I stay up till like 2 or 3, but yeah, yep. So if we do this like this, it's going to be so much easier to punch out the jar. Like when I started to think about that, I thought, no, I am just making that too difficult on myself to try to put the stamp back in the jar. I'm making that difficult on myself. So no biggie, no biggie. Just had another piece of paper that we need to cut. For some reason, it's not. Look at the last video. I'm like, what am I doing? What is happening right now? Well, I'll give it a good push. Almost. We almost got it. We'll do one more little spot there. It's pretty high toward the top is the problem. Sometimes when it's that high toward the top, it doesn't always want to get you. There you go. Okay, there you go. Then I'm going to flip it because I want the jar at the bottom. So let's clean it and we'll put it as close to the bottom as we can for the other one, because I like to have 2 different jars, if that makes sense. I like to have two different looks. So when I am putting this down, I need to put my magnet up there so it doesn't move. When I'm putting this down, it's the side that's got the, like you can feel it. Like you can feel the stamp. That's what you're going for. Okay, so now we're going to come down here. Good gravy. Okay, and now we're going to do it again, and then it's going to be way easier to punch our jar out. So thank you for that. Like, you're like, yeah, that wasn't my finest hour. But, you know, I just wasn't thinking that through. Okay, there you go. That's just better. It's just going to be way easier to punch the jar out, because now all we have to do is line it up, excuse me, in the punch, and that makes it so much easier than trying to do it the opposite way. So if that helps you maybe to think through, like, oh, I want to do that different, and then all I'm going to do is take my snips and I'm just going to cut off the jar so I can get to the other jar. So I can do the other jar in there too. Now this one's a little trickier because I don't have a lot to have my hand holding on there. It's nice to have a tab, like a longer piece of paper. Goodness. Let's try that again. Get it right in the center and feed it down the lane. There we go. Oh, my gravy. Me and my jars tonight. Like, I was all excited to show this to you, and now it's like the easiest card to make, and now I'm being ridiculous. Oh, my gravy. Okay. You know what? That's fine. We will use one of these jars inside. It's not like it's the end of the world. Okay, so there you go. Happy accident. Or, you know what? We'll just cut it. We want that jar. I'll just cut it because it's so tight in there. So the jars, I think, are super cute on the design paper. I was trying to think of who said that to me. Maybe it was Nikki. Was like, I would never think to stamp on DSP. And I think that's probably true. I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, I don't know. You already have a design on there. I don't know that I would stamp on there. But I think it's kind of cool. I think it gives you more dimension. Now, it probably depends on the DSP that you're using. Not necessarily all DSP would I stamp on, but I do think that it gives you some fun, yeah, it gives you some fun dimension. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just reviewing for my inside here. What we're going to do is on this one, we're going to hold it because we're going to go down at the very bottom for our word right here. And we're going to go sideways. You know I do that when the paper's long like that. I think it's way easier to stamp like that. We're going to say, you're my person. And I'm actually going like really close to the score line. I just think that that is going to look really cool. And you'll see, like, I know I didn't show you a card ahead of time just because it's so cute. I wanted to surprise you with it. So you'll love it. It's so cute. All right, so we're going to do You're My Person. And we're just all doing Mary Merlot. Like all of our stamp color is the same on this one. We're just doing one. And then I did it, of course, different for each, you know, each color had a different one. Look at that, You're My Person. Don't you love that? And then let's go ahead and do our words, and then we decorate, and then we're done. I mean, seriously, this is a super quick card. Me with my ridiculous jar did not make it quick. However, good gravy. They're a little ridiculous today. And I'm actually going to do the just because at the bottom too. So I'm going to go down with, there we are. I had to find it for a moment. I'm going to do the just because. And I've got that set up. And so we'll let the Stamparatus do the work for us and keep everything nice and tidy, right? That's just the beauty of the Stamparatus. I do love it. I know you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, she talks about the Stamparatus all the time. But, you know, I think when Stampin' Up! Came out with this, I just think it's brilliant. And I think that it has saved me so many times not having to redo something or not having to fix it because I can fix it like that. Easy peasy. Okay, now the other thing that we're going to do, well, we've got it up at the front. I'm going to move this down a little bit so that I can have my straw. Now, for the straw, the same thing is going to apply. There's a lot of forgiveness with the straw because the jar, one of the jars is going to go over top of part of it. So I based it on the corner here and just kind of went sideways with it. And I thought that worked really well. And then you'll see we're going to put a jar on there. So it's like a mason jar. Like it reminds me of like, you know, sipping sweet tea in a mason jar kind of thing. I don't know. Probably kooky, but I have memories of it. So I just thought it was cool and I thought it was a fun thing to do. So we're going to do the same thing. Okay. We've got the straw coming down. Isn't this fun? I know, you're like, oh, it hasn't really taken shape yet. Wait for it. Wait for it. Psych. If any of you are my psych friends. Okay, so now we have this cute straw. All right, and now I need flowers. So I'm just going to come along and I am actually going to do the mason jar and then I'm going to do the flowers around it. So I'm going to do this mason jar inside and this one's going to get glued because it's in the flap. You know how I feel about that. I feel like it makes it sometimes too puffy. So I actually just liked this mason jar above this. So that was really cute, and I thought it added something to the inside once we put everything together. Okay, and while that's open, and this flower is just random. This is just like whatever catches your fancy. There's obviously no right or wrong. It's just like, oh, I like that flower there. Cool. So I'm going to do a flower there. And then all I did at the bottom, actually, get that straw off there so we don't you always have to be careful of that. All I did at the bottom is a few because you know this is your writing place, like this is your card, this is the place where you're gonna write your card. Then for this one I want dimensionals, so I want that jar to stand up off that straw just because I thought that that's really cute like that. Probably 3 will work. 3 will probably be okay on there. We will do that. And I tipped it, you know, kind of tipped it sideways and figured out like how I wanted it to sit on that straw. Again, no right or wrong. Is that not cute? You guys, I couldn't even stand it. I know. You've seen a ton of stuff from me this week, but I don't know. This jar. And the other thing too, I guess, is that I wanted you to look at this jar and realize that it doesn't have to be filled with flowers. It doesn't have to be, you know, you can make it something totally different. I will tell you something I saw the other day and I'm like, oh yes, I'm totally doing that. Someone had done the jar like more of like a really light color and then the outline of the jar, and it looked like it was spilling over and it had a ton of butterflies coming out of it. I'm like, yes, I will be doing that. So I'm just adding glue and I'm gonna do this at the top here. Okay, and then I'm adding my extra flap. I don't know. You can. Oh, not with the words upside down. That seems silly. I may be getting a little tired, my friends. Okay, I am going to add that in. I just think that looks really nice. And then we're done. How easy was that? It would have been a whole lot easier had I not had the kerfuffle with the with the jar. But you see how easy that is. Now, again, this is a card that you're making that it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have a ton of writing room necessarily, but it's just cute. It's just cute. Like, can you even stand that little mason jar? I'm like, yes, please. So that is the Magenta Madness. And this is the Misty Moonlight. They're all the same. I mean, they're all, yeah. I mean, the paper on some of them is different because that's a different one with the Magenta Madness. And then the Just Jade. And then the Cinnamon Cider. Oh, it fell down. I knew I had them all. I'm like, I have all the colors. And then the Bumblebee. So a very simple, I know, it's like super simple, but I just couldn't resist. I thought that jar was so, so cute. So thank you for my Bumblebee. Good gravy. That one felt like a little bit like, what is happening? Hopefully you have the notebook up there. You do want to stamp your jar first. That would be a good idea before you try to punch it out. So take the tip from what I did wrong. And don't stamp it so tight that you don't have a handle to get it down in your punch. The two things that Rachel did a happy accident. I fixed it. I fixed them. But sometimes you got to be a little inventive once you've started your journey. You're like, oh, well, too bad. We're too far along. Got to make that work. Okay. So this week, this has been the star of the show, the lovely you. And we have used... I'll just show you in the catalog. We have gone on a journey with punches, and I wanted to remind you of some of the really cool punches that we have used. So if you go to the AddaDashofGlitter vase builder, I used these AddaDashofGlitter umbrellas. And then the mason jar is in the bundle. So this jar is with the flowers. And so I did do, the first one I did was jars of flowers, and I used these flowers. Then we did a memories and more. And so then several times we used this pick-a-punch. I really hope that you go and check out all those videos to see all the different ways to use the punches, because I think they're stellar, and I think you'd have a good time with them. Okay, my friends, let's go to the front. Video number 5. You're like, okay, I'm done with that. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully by this time, this will be next Friday. This will be the last day of the scavenger hunt. So there will be like probably 5 to 7 questions every day, and they're simply like go snap a pic of something in the catalog. So it's very simple, like it's not like time consuming, but the winner will be someone that I draw their name, but they will have had to do every single question in the scavenger hunt. So hopefully you had a good time with that, and that was super fun for you, and that you look forward to next week, which is Over the Moon, and then we'll do several more videos for Over the Moon. So get ready for all the fun of that, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying the June Jubilee. So until I see you again, my friends, go and make the world a better place. Find a way to bring encouragement and joy and happiness in the world that you live, and take a stand. Take a stand and be a voice of change for the world, because we need a voice of change for certain. Okay, until I see you next week, my friends, I bid you adieu.